Thank you so much for staying with us. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is asking the federal government to prioritize indigenous manufacturers in the Lagos Airport fencing project. Director General of the association, Mr. Segun Ajayi-Kadri, made his appeal in a statement in Lagos. Recall that the Federal Executive Council approved the rehabilitation of the Muitala Mohammed International Airport Terminal 1. Mr. Ajayi-Kadri commended the federal government for its efforts to sustain national infrastructure, but he stressed the importance of prioritizing indigenous manufacturers, noting that they had regrettably lost out in similar situations in the past, disclosing that importing fencing materials would undermine government policy and deprive Nigerians of critical benefits. I have no other person than the man himself here, the Director General of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Segun Ajayi-Kadri. Thank you so much. DG, it is good to have you on the show this afternoon to discuss this important topic.
Thank you, Tolu. It's always a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, DG. DG, I think we should start with upholding Nigeria first policy and protecting local industry. Where does that find its way in this very contract allocation and all of that?
Thank you very much again, Tolu. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, right from when he came into government, he indicated that he was going to promote domestic production. And the extension of this is that government was going to do everything that needed to be done to ensure that those domestic producers survive, that they are able to compete, and they are able to reinvest and scale. So the Nigerian First policy appears to be the first major pronouncement that governments have made to leave no one in doubt that apart from putting in the enabling policies, government was going to practically demonstrate its support for the domestic economy by ensuring that we give priority to whatever we make in Nigeria. And that was why when the federal government announced the Nigeria First policy, we quickly added fittingly that it has to prioritize the patronage of made in Nigerian products as well as services. So this contract that was announced by government is an indication of major federal government expenditure. And we felt that Nigerian manufacturers who have expertise, Nigerian suppliers who have expertise in delivering those materials should be given priority. What is important and significant in this matter is that this contract is being awarded just a few months after government pronouncement about Nigerian First policy. So it can be referred to as a test case for government seriousness about that pronouncement. It's an indication that government will be moving away from just a pronouncement to practical implementation of its policy. We believe that if this is done, it will galvanize the production activities in that sector. For instance, it will allow them to reduce the unplanned inventory that we have earlier on reported was higher than 2 trillion naira across the country. So this is the significance of linking the two, Nigeria First policy and award of contract to favor those who produce in the domestic economy.
Now, is it an issue of capacity, or do we have those with proven capacity that can handle business or have this material to supply? What really is the issue? Are we meeting standards? Or what do you think will be the challenge? Because it's not the first time in your write-up.
Yes, certainly, Tolu. If man does not, for instance, support anyone to provide substandard services, and we wouldn't have come out to say that government should patronize in this particular instance if we feel that we didn't have local capacity. But if you take the example of China, even when China was not making the best of quality, the intentional support of government through patronage and through encouragement and through incentivization of their processes was able to support them. And they were able to grow to start to be one of the best in the world in terms of innovation and brands. So we are saying that in this instance, we have the quality, we have the materials, and that we should be allowed to have first choice of consideration. So it has nothing to do with the standard. And we actually have an organization that the ministry could partner with to ensure that we are able to scale together, to ensure that we are able to have a conversation that will allow us to even get the best prices for all of those products. There is no way you will not charge import duty on some of those items. There is no way you are going to avoid paying freight and all other charges, which, of course, will make it far more expensive than what the Nigerian company will sell. And Tolu, we are actually pursuing this matter because we have lost out in the past, like you said. In the red line rail fencing in Lagos, we lost out on that. We also lost out in, I think, 2022 in the Abuja airport fencing. We do not want to lose out this time. President Tinubu has promised renewed hope agenda. I believe that our hope in terms of prioritizing made in Nigeria should be renewed by this contract. Let us start from here and let government set an example that going forward, government will no longer favor foreign suppliers when we have those ones that are in Nigeria that can actually supply effectively.
This obviously will have impact on job creation, taxes, foreign exchange level and all of that. Do you think so?
Absolutely. I mean, if you expand if you give this contract, jobs will be created. We are going to pay more taxes. You will need more hands to be able to meet the targets. And even our warehouses that are full will be depleted. We'll then be able to scale. There will be innovation around the process. And it will be a learning curve. Because anytime you make a major supply like that, you improve on your expertise. There are going to be other people that will be employed to actually fix those fencing materials. There are also expertise that will be transferred to people who are previously not knowledgeable. And we are going to have an example for other airports that will be built when they are being fenced, for them to make a reference that this is made in Nigeria. It could also be something you can showcase. For instance, rather than go to South Africa to import these materials, if we do it effectively here, surrounding nations in West Africa will be able to see a reference point and say, this was done in Nigeria by Nigerians. And then we'll be able to have people that will come to Nigeria to patronize us on this call.
But obviously, this is a form of an appeal. The press release is out. Conversations are ongoing. What more would man do as an advocacy group to push this?
No, man has a history of always collaborating with government and co-creating atmosphere for a conducive environment. We are approaching the ministry and we are also talking to other economic ministers, particularly those ones that are directly related to manufacturing. The Minister of State for Industry, the Minister of Trade and Investment, so that they help make our case that it is important that government demonstrates its commitment to the Nigerian First policy and ensures that we set the message clear to all government contractors that this is no longer business as usual. You should first of all allow charity to begin at home and for us to use Nigerians' money to work for Nigerians, because it's Nigerians that are employed, it's Nigerians that have invested, and it's Nigerians that will prosper from the process of the contract.
I want to ask you the issue of demand, because I've had that conversation at a particular time where some business owners or business dealers will tell you that if you tell a Nigerian manufacturing company to produce, say, 20 copies of a particular product, it could be easy. But when you say, give us 20 million copies of that, then they start to get some challenges start to come in. Are you thinking that we've grown past that level, particularly as we're also viewing that big market of the AFCFTA? Have we crossed that line at this time, DG?
Okay, so you know, one problem with manufacturing is that if you produce and nobody is buying, it becomes a burden to you. So you have to hire warehouses, you have to invest in some costs. Like I told you, we have 2 trillion naira worth of goods across the country that nobody is buying. So if there is demand, manufacturers will scale. I mean, all that it takes is the same process. You can start working 24/7. You know the cost of electricity now. It has made our members to constrain their production time. By the way, the disposable income of the average Nigerian is low, so we are not even having more sales. So immediately we have the go ahead, for instance, to be able to make the supply. We will certainly be able to meet the demand of the contract. And in this particular instance, we can, of course, even as we are, meet the demand.
All right, before I let you go, moving on, what other challenges are you still grappling with regards to the association? I know a series of meetings are ongoing, a series of AGMs and all of that. But what are these similarities in challenges that you still see manufacturers grappling with at the moment? We are moving towards the end of the year. By the end of August, it's September, and it's getting towards the end of the year, the last quarter.
Yeah, so in the first instance, you know, we just released our manufacturers' confidence index, and it has shown that it has improved by about 2% from 48.3 to 50.3%, which shows that manufacturers are becoming more and more confident in the economy. And what is responsible for all of this is the relative stability that has been attested to by even Okonjo-Iweala. We are having the expectations that the tax laws will kick in. We are having stability in the exchange rate, stability in the exchange rate. We are able to see that the FRCN charge, which was huge, has been suspended, and so on and so forth. So all of this has improved the confidence of manufacturers. But again, at the same time, when you ask of the challenges we are currently dealing with the issue of the introduction of 4% FOB by customs, which has set us far apart from what is happening even across West Africa and the world. In Senegal, Ghana, and Cote d'Ivoire, the FOB rate is 0.5% to 1%. Ours is 4%, which means that we are going to suffer increased costs of our inputs. And when this happens, we are going to pass it on. Apart from not being able to sell, when we do sell, we are going to pass the higher cost to consumers. So as part of our major issues now, we would like that the suspension that has been placed on the implementation of the 4% FOB by Mr. President should be sustained. That is very, very important. And also, customs should move very quickly to overcome the challenges that is being experienced with the B-Odogu platform, because this is constraining our members from clearing their goods, and we are beginning to have stock out in some of our factories. So that is an immediate challenge. And going forward, we'll look forward to a revisit of the uncleared forwards for people who genuinely have a challenge and have not been dealt fairly. Because we do recognize that there should be no infractions, but there are genuine complaints we have continued to receive from our members that they do have a case that they would like to be presented. And so we are reaching out to government that we should have a revisit of this, because nothing should be done to constrain this sector that is already struggling. And since government has achieved some huge measure of stability, widely acclaimed by everyone, we are going in the right direction. We shouldn't be moving forward and looking back. So it's very important for us, for all agencies of government and institutions of government, to support this momentum that we are getting, so that when we get to the second half of the year proper, and we are going to the end of the year, we should be able to have some respite. The promised relief after the initial impact of the reforms, we should start to feel it by now. And not to forget that very soon political activities will kick in. And the general belief is that we need to achieve a reasonable momentum before our attention is diverted. So I do believe that there are these challenges that we can quickly overcome, and we continue with the infrastructure improvement that government has promised that we will see, the synchronization of fiscal and monetary policies that we are seeing. We are happy to see the CBN governor and the coordinating minister for the economy and minister of finance working towards further harmonization of fiscal and monetary policies. We are seeing in the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, we are looking forward to the industrial policy that is being promoted. We have an industrial revolution work group that's itemized the challenges we have. And man is working closely with the minister to be able to deliver on resolving those issues. So if we just keep at it and avoid distractions, I believe that we should be able to have some good news at the end of the year.
I must thank you so much, Director General, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Segun Ajayi-Kadri. Thank you so much, and do enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Thank you, Tolu. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you so much. All right, then.